wonderful day for any museum, but specifically our museum. As you can see, if you saw this building in January, it looks nothing like it did. The majority of the effort, the labor, was volunteer labor and local organizations that helped out. And it's just been kind of a hit or miss with different people at different times. But it's been kind of cool that some of the people that helped in January, February, whatever, they came by and asked how far we've got, and I can't wait to see it when it's done, and plan to possibly come back and see it when it's finished. This uniform that I put on is, it once fit when I was in my 20s. These little straps used to do something. I don't do nothing. Now, fun story. Someone got me a new one that's a bigger size, and I didn't have this problem. And I put it on this morning to make sure it was okay. It got good and everything. And I took it off, it's going to fold it up, and that's when I noticed it had about this much of the butt blown out. So I'm glad that I noticed that and not you guys. Because if I would have folded it the other way, just like I put it on, didn't notice it the first time, I'd be walking around here and you guys would be going. But I'll get that one fixed, and I'll retire this one. Because I doubt I'm going to lose the weight to make this one fit again. But, you know, and some of our other board members have dressed up, as you see, in some of the costumes. They're uniforms, actually, not costumes. They're actual official uniforms that were worn by members of the whatever, Nursing Corps, Red Cross, things like that. And of course, Jeff is running around in his blue flight suit because he's retired Coast Guard, and it still fits. But anyway, we went into two things today. We came inside because it was raining, or it had stopped now. So we had two things. We have a donation funds, and then we got a donation of a piece of equipment. Now this will officially be our first donation of a first responder type of piece of equipment. And if you don't know how the museum is evolving, it's going from a veterans-only museum to a veterans and first responders. Now, about 4 years ago, I think it was, we first started talking about that, and it seemed like, you know, a pipe dream back then, because it takes a lot to do that, and you need a lot bigger facility and all that stuff, and you know, things have a way of falling in place, and this building became available. Raleigh County Commission let us have it, and the sheriff's finally got out, and we were able to start knocking down walls. And if you never saw this building before, this was nothing but offices, all shoebox type offices. Some were a little bigger. They must have had some bigger rank, but most of them were small offices. And because of the girder roofing system, we were able to knock all that down and haul it out of here. And we still have about 70 sheets of paneling out in the garage. So if you want one, you can have as many as you want. We first thought we'd keep them and sell them or something, but I think that they're probably going to end up going to the dump. But we moved them about 5 times, and we were like, we got to put these somewhere where the next stop is out of here. Because tear down and move takes too much time. But anyway, so why are we making it a first responders, veterans and first responders? Well, obviously, it offers so much more to a community. It attracts more people to come to your museum, so we get to show our stuff, military people, to more people. And while they're here, they get to see more other stuff that may interest them. Not everybody likes military stuff. Some, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with them, but some people don't. So it allows us to put ourselves out there to attract more people from out of the area. We hope someday to be a place where people come here just to see us, and then while they're here, maybe they can go see something else. I mean, that's obviously the ultimate goal of any recreational or attraction, is to be a place where people say, I want to go there for that. And it's not an add-on. So, and we'll get there, I do believe, someday. But I was at a prayer breakfast this morning, and I didn't want to forget his name, so I had to figure out how am I going to remember Dr. Stewart's name, because I'm horrible with names. If I didn't have his tag sometimes, I probably would have done my own name. But, so Dr. Stewart, Stuart Little. So for the last hour, I've been thinking Stuart Little, so I wouldn't forget his name. So Dr. Stewart got up and he spoke, and he said that they had started something, or they had been doing, where they take school-age kids to WTech, and they show them all those trades and things so that maybe they will become one of those. They'll see something they're interested in. Well, that's the same philosophy we have here. We want the school buses to come here because we want those kids to come in our facility and see the jobs that people did that brought that stuff to this facility. And not all of us are going to be old. Jane Care with Paul Siemens. That's another name hard to remember.
Too simple.
They're going to help us with the ambulance part, and they're going to make the Jane Care is going to help with it. Now it's not going to be a Jane Care. When he first looked, he said, "Look, we don't want people to think we took over and it's a Jane Care, because there's other ambulances, there's other EMTs, there's other stuff out there. So we want to make it cover all those, and we welcome any of those other people to help too. But they're going to make it have some history and some new stuff and promote their field. So he's going to have interactive things for kids to do. So they're not just going to come and go, oh, that's kind of cool, and look at it. They're going to actually be able to touch some buttons and do some things. And maybe they'll get interested and say, I want to be a ambulance driver, or I want to be an EMT, whatever. And we're hoping the same kind of concept can be transferred to the law enforcement side and also the fire department side. We want kids to come here and see those fields and get excited about it, and maybe grow up and become a fireman, a police officer, a soldier, or EMT. Because, those jobs are hands jobs. They're hands jobs that preserve our freedom. They're hand jobs that protect our communities. And they're hand jobs that save our lives. That's how we're going to structure this museum. We're going to have the wow factor of cool stuff and the wow factor of, wow, I can be that and do that. So that's why, to me, it's important to make sure we do it right. To do that, it takes funds. And we've been very fortunate this year that we have a community, people that have bought into what we're selling. They believe in what we're saying and what we want to do, and we're grateful. And, but sometimes it's easy when we've got Charlie talking for you.
How'd you know I'm going to say one sentence when you're done before that? I really am. Go ahead.
But, our board members are active in the community and other things, and that helps too, because they bring their knowledge and what they do with those other boards and those other organizations. So when we talk about stuff, we have people who are actually knowledgeable about certain things, like Sam's with the Historical Society. We want to preserve the historical part of Beckley too. We don't want to. We want this to be a community museum that, if there's something about this area that is worth preserving, we want to preserve it. And so, you know, I've met with the Historical Society. We want to see help, if they've got something to help this museum, we definitely want to, you know, allow that and work with them on that. And so, the facility, you know, we have a theater, crafts room. That's another thing. We want to offer that to other organizations that may want to have meetings and stuff. And I've already been, you know, approached by several other organizations like the American Legion and things like that, where they may not have a place to meet anymore. I understand the VFW may be losing their place, and talk to one of their members. So we want to be able to have a place too that we allow other community organizations to meet here and keep their group going and maybe rebuild it and save it or whatever, because we can't let those type of organizations die, because they once were big and proud or whatever, and they served our community, and they're worth saving, and someday maybe they'll serve again in the same you know, way they did when they were 100 members, and now they're down to 5 or whatever. But so, building has served the community since 1939, and we want to make sure it serves this community to honor. I'll be back. but anyway, so any questions before we move on to the good stuff?
Well, I do have a comment. I can't help it. All right, Jeff and Wendy Lehman, Glenn Smith, come forward, please, and get with Raleigh. Come on, Wendy. Wendy.
Well, I wanted all the board members to come up for the...
Well, okay, but what I was going to mention, this is one of the best boards I've ever been on, but before you recognize the board, and we've got one shaky board member right here, but other than that, it's a very strong board. So here's what I want to acknowledge, okay? Where we are today, the 4 people you see standing in front of you don't have, well, now, oh, I'm not excluding, but I want to pick you all out of the entire board, okay? They don't have hundreds of hours in this project. They've got thousands of hours in this project. So without these 4, this could never happen. So God bless you all. We appreciate you all. I know, we got Brooke.
But she's a painter.
Huh?
She's the one who painted the walls.
Well, I know Brooke's magic. Okay, step forward. And Brooke should be there too, and you all know that. Brooke is so unassuming. And by the way, this is the best she's looked in 1 year. Thank you, Brooke. Hey, a hand for Brooke.
How you gonna do it?
Hey, the sheriff said it's almost one sentence.
But I'd like to use the whole board up here, behind me or beside me or whatever.
May have seen these few
What was that?
I have no idea. However you
You want to say again so Sherry can hear you? The board, he wants the board up.
I'd like for the board to come up because, well, you know, this is our baby. All the board members, come on up here.
It's always an action.
See, isn't this an impressive board? I mean, you know, I've served on a couple other things in the community too, and boards, and I don't think any can hold water to the quality of people we have up here, from their professional jobs to you know, what they've done in their careers, and how they serve the community, like Sherry here. There's probably one person who works harder than me, and that's her. And
we work together. It's a collaboration.
Excuse me, Brooke, come here. I mean, you're in the middle, Brooke, right here. Get in the middle, seriously.
But, this funds that we're getting today, by the way, it was from a grant to do the phase 2, which is the police officer section. So that's the next phase. But we kind of jumped ahead, and we already got a grant to do the first responders too. So we now have the funding to do the phase 2 and 3. So nothing's gonna slow us down now. So we're, instead of waiting till next year to start phase 2, we've already started moving construction stuff over there to start, as soon as we get this one tied up. Okay, all right.
This I'm going to push on the Executive Director of the Beckley Area Foundation. This is Jeremy Evans, our Board President.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. We're happy to be a part of what we think is going to be a bright spot.
Yeah, they keep doing my friend, I'll get it all next week.
What better can we do to
All right, thanks.
honor
All right.
our veterans and first responders, not only in the past, but current. There's a place for our kids to come and learn about the past and learn about what they could be doing now in the future. So we're really happy to be a part of it. I know Ron's proud of this board. We're really proud of our board too. And we're just ever since they came, you can see the passion that Ron has and the board members have. Charlie does do a good sales job, but Ron really brings the passion part. He brings the passion part, and the last time we were here, it was just wires hanging, blank slate. So look at what it's become already. So I think it's really going to be a showpiece and a bright spot for the community. We're really happy about that. And so we're really proud to present this check for $58,805 to phase
2. Again, this was the first grant I ever wrote. So it was, and their grant system is if you follow the steps, it's manageable. And but I probably didn't do it right. Because I have a tendency of putting my feelings into stuff when I write it. But I'm just thrilled to death that we're able to get funds to move this forward for our community. We had some lean years where we got maybe $5,000, $6,000 in a whole year, and to see this kind of funds come to help us with this project, we just didn't dream it, and so I accept it, obviously, and with the bottom of my heart, I thank you for having faith in us to give us this, and we can't wait to show you what your faith in us becomes. Anybody want to say anything?
I did want to say something. Ron is just an amazing community servant, and he has a servant heart. Ron is also one of those think outside of the box individuals. He's a visionary. And it's true what this building looked like. There were wires hanging down, and I mean, no one, Jonathan, can you believe? It's been transformative for our community. And to have all of you out here really touches our heart. Thank you, media, for being here. Ron, thank you for leading with that servant's heart. He is the reason Mountaineer Food Bank comes to Beckley the second Friday of every month and every other month in Raleigh County and Fayette County. So he provides sustenance through all of the people that come and volunteer. Ron Hedrick brought Mountaineer Food Bank here after the pandemic. He single-handedly did that. But look what he's also done. And he's true, that's true. We're gonna have students come and see this facility and they say, oh, I might wanna be a first responder. Oh no, I'd like to be a police officer. So thank you for having that visionary out of the box thinking, Ron.
If you want me to say anything, raise your right hand. No, I'm done.
Yeah, you might want to sit
You
across.
heard from me. Yeah.
The real deal.
That's the real. Yeah.
One's trying to get a big chick.
Yeah.
That needs to be paid.
Yeah.
Right to the treasurer.
Yeah.